Don't all go at once, man.
I want to ask you about Spoon.
Yeah.
Obviously, had a really good year last year, but with the changes in the secondary guys leaving, like, what do you see out of him right now in that role, kind of more leadership, and what's it bring to you guys?
I mean, it's there's the consistency with like the details, especially when you get on the field. And just his football awareness, the ID formations, and calling out splits, and trying to call out route concepts before you see them. Coach B had a example today, just showing individual to the team and like the details with where his eyes are, where his feet are, and it just he loves football, and it shows up on the field for sure.
He's a big talker, I know that.
Yeah.
What's your policy with that, guys?
I love it. I tell him you better start talking. You better make the game personal. Otherwise, it's hard to play defense if you don't. I'm all about having fun out there and making it competitive. So it's good to talk a little bit.
He's seen some guys like Tony and Nate go to the pros.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's got that kind of potential?
I hope so. I mean, if he does, it's good for us, right? But I think he hadn't even reached his potential yet. He's physically more mature than he was a year ago, and when he's on, it's pretty special. So I think he's for sure one of those guys that could make a career out of this deal.
Is there anything maybe you saw in the spring or the limited time in the summer that you thought was something you needed to address early in training camp with your defense?
I don't know if there's any one thing where I was like, man, we really got to get better at this. There's you're trying to figure out the roster with the departure of some of the guys. Schematically, we shored up some things. Going back and looking at some self-scout stuff. So we've tweaked some scheme stuff and some concepts here and there. But I don't know if there's any one glaring area where I was like, man, we have to get this corrected,
Coach, with a new scheme on the other side of the ball, it's not really predicated on ball control or time of possession. Does that put some extra stress on your guys?
No, I mean, those guys, it's putting extra stress on us during practice, that's for sure. Coach Lunny, I love what he's doing. It makes you play with all 11. We're seeing so many different concepts, so many different formations, so many different play types. It's good catalog for us to be able to see things and that we're going to see throughout the year. So as far as like time, I'm not concerned with that. All we care about is wins and losses. I'm not into rankings and trying to make one side of the ball better than the other. That's not what we're here for. We're here to win games. And the last I checked, if we score more points than the other team, we usually win. So I think that's what Lunny's trying to do here, and we're all for it.
Have you seen the chemistry between Tyreek and CJ come back? I know that obviously CJ misses every game except the opener,
right.
And you had him in the spring. But is that kind of back now? Do you see them playing at the level they were going into last year?
Yeah, it's like you said, CJ only played that first game, not even the whole game, and Tyreek wasn't a starter then. You know what I mean? So they never really played with each other. It is good to have CJ back and out there comfortable. And Tyreek is, he's made progress from where he was a year ago, and he played really good football a year ago. So those guys are doing a good job of talking. The whole defense is doing a really good job of communicating. And I think the chemistry with all 11 is kind of what we're looking for, not just the chemistry between a couple individuals.
I guess, Juan, how important has versatility been, and you guys having a lot of changeover in that defensive back?
Oh, it's huge. Like his versatility allows us to do what we do schematically. He's like an extra corner out there, but he's as physical as a safety, and he's got the IQ of like a quarterback. You know what I mean? So really, all three of those safeties and the corners, like I said, the communication piece is huge for what we're doing with how we adjust to formations and motions, and getting in and out of different defenses. So just their experience collectively and their versatility collectively allows us to be creative. In terms of what we're trying to do scheme-wise.
Brett brought up Taz, kind of taking a step forward.
Absolutely.
What have you seen?
He had a great summer, man. You look back to where he was, in the fall last year. Wasn't real confident. Like you saw the skill set, you saw the sort of the football savviness and the toughness. When he got out there, at times, like his technique would go down just because he was too hyped up. Then you fast forward to his winter conditioning, put on some pounds, got a little stronger, got a little faster, and then took reps with the ones in the springtime, kind of gained some confidence. and then he really killed the summer. Him and Tank, you know, he looks different. You know, he's acts different. We had a one-on-one meeting today, and I was just telling him, like, man, you just look so much more comfortable, so much more confident while you're out there. And I guarantee you it's because, you know, Tank done broke him down in the weight room. And so to see him out at practice now and playing with good technique no matter what the situation is, and being vocal is something that we needed from him, and I'm excited to see him this fall.
Where do you maybe see the guys' comfort level with the defense in year two? You know, being at a point where you
Yeah.
can just maybe make a few minor scheme changes instead of throwing something brand new at them.
Right. It's awesome. You know, the recall that those guys had, you know, coming from fall to spring was huge, and then now from the spring to back in the fall, those guys are teaching the younger guys, and so that's kind of how I gauge where their comfort level is within the defense. You know, they'll be on the sideline and talking about, you know, what the twos saw out there, and if a coach missed, you know, maybe a coach missed a coaching point with one of the guys that are out there, the players are coaching themselves up, and so to me that's a good sign of leadership. It's a good sign of those experienced guys just understanding what we're trying to do conceptually, and being able to, you know, regurgitate what us as coaches are preaching to them in the film room.
Are there any like main coaches on the field type guys?
No, I mean they all talk and again that's what we're trying to. I don't want any one leader. You know what I mean? I don't want any one signal caller. Like great defenses that I've been around are super chatty, and these guys are doing that. Again, it's the second day and everybody's running around in shorts, you know. But the level and the volume of communication has been something that we've been pleased with.
I know it's early, but you guys added a massive freshman to your defense. Just what have you seen so far? Just having those guys?
I mean, everybody looks good in shorts and a t-shirt, and everybody's, you know, can run around well. They better, right? We brought them in, so we'll see what happens when the pads get on and pads get to popping.
A lot of experience in the secondary. Do you feel like that can be a team strength?
Yeah, I think it needs to be. You know, just you look at a lot of the production that has come back is coming from guys in the secondary. Obviously, you got some guys up front as well, but we need those guys to be stalwarts for us. But again, we got to get all 11 to be playing at the same high level, and those guys are competing to do that.
With Kirby leaving for the NFL, is there like a domino effect there that affects the lineup? Or?
No, it's just Kirby. You know, Kirby went to the NFL. He got drafted in the third round. It's motivation for everybody. You know, to see what a year can do for you. You know what I mean? You know, you look at a guy who didn't take a lot of offensive or defensive snaps, you know, prior to last season, and then starts, you know, eight games and gets drafted in the third round as a first-team All Big Ten. So it's a testament to what he was able to do as a competitor, but it's also an example for everybody. If you're not satisfied with your role, that role can change, and if that role changes, you know, sky's the limit if you take advantage of the opportunity when it presents itself.